Oh, boxing. A sport of fast hands, feet, strikes. You can miss the entire event by the time you bring in the nachos. The world of boxing. A sport of triumph, tragedy, and with more internal corruption than the American Senate combined. Yes, boxing. A sport of beating the sense out of each other in the ring as a modern-day gladiator. A sport that emerged from the lower classes in cities like New York and Boston, where Jewish and Italian immigrants first put on the gloves and duked it out for a chance at fame and fortune. But for the most part, just to put enough food on the table, as technically, prize money was not allowed in 1882, and thus boxing still lacked the gloves. So more akin to a bar fight brawl, but organized. In 1920, prize money was finally allowed, making sure winners could bring home money, and not just be handed random food scraps, as the underground venues began to slowly fizzle out in favor of the legit, organized boxing events. Then came the rise of the promoters, managers, and silver-haired middle-aged white men to make money off someone without doing anything themselves. Promoters began to call the shots, manipulating fighters and their careers, attempting bribes, and match-fixing smaller, lesser-known boxers for their own personal gain. It wasn't uncommon for fighters to be robbed of their earnings, leaving them with almost nothing, but just enough to make it worth continuing and keep working hard. In boxing, it isn't too far from the stretch of the imagination to see the trust that the young and talented boxers had from the wiser, older coaches and managers, leaving them quite open to be taken advantage of. Now the rules of boxing is very simple. Two opponents steps into the ring. They can only use their gloved fist, affectionately known as the puffy your body bloody with your tidy righty punchy, and punch their way to victory. Yeah. It's a brutal and enduring display of being clocked, punched, hucked, and knocked out. The fans of boxing filling arenas to the brim, bumps in seats, a living atmosphere, the cheer of the crowd as the jabs get hurled in, as the night's event will finally commence. The intros of the boxers making their way to the ring, to their own swanky tunes. They'll cheer, jeer, chuck beer, and no fear. And sometimes they'll even start throwing a punch themselves. Come on, do it! If their fighter doesn't come out on top. But boxing has also seen its own share of scandal and controversy. Like the case of Luis Resto. He fought a boxer named Billy Collins Jr., whose father and manager later discovered that Resto's gloves had been tampered with, essentially taking the padding out of the gloves, so pretty much just beating him with bare hands. Resto's cheating not only ruined his opponent's career, but also cast a dark shadow over the sport. Yet amidst the controversies, in modern times, boxing has also seen its fair share of charity events, with social media influencers, YouTubers and such, hosting events where they get the shit beaten out of them, because none of them know how to fucking box. One name that can't be left out is Floyd Mayweather, known for his blindingly fast hands. Mayweather has lived a life of luxury. However, it seems that even with all that wealth, he still finds it hard to figure out how to pay for his child support. When it comes to sponsors, boxing has had its share of support. Brands like Everlast, Corona, oh no, they were in on it, and Under Armour have thrown their weight in behind the sport. And you'll often see their logos imprinted on the trunks and ropes of the fighters as they enter the ring. So in the grand tapestry of boxing, where drama meets discipline and sweat mixes with strategy, it's a sport where it's a sport with a storied history, a devoted fan base, and moments that can leave you cheering or shaking your head in disbelief. But it's also a sport tainted by scandal and corruption, leaving us to wonder if it will ever truly find its way back to the purity of its origin, knocking people out without pillows on their hands. All in all, I give boxing a score of Mike Tyson, hugging someone passionately in the ring, on the plane, sneaking up on you, and punching a chupacabra in the nuts, out of 9.